Should I weigh myself every day? Maybe you've asked yourself that question before. After my third baby, I became totally fixated on the scale. Trying to lose baby weight is no fun, but I guess trying to lose weight, period, is no fun. I've heard the debate over and over among women. Should we weigh ourselves every day? Or should we swing in the totally other direction and get rid of our scales altogether? So today I want to talk about scale weight, and I want to dig into the very important debate to weigh ourselves or not weigh ourselves. That is the question. I think just about everyone seems to be trying to lose weight nowadays. I mean, statistics show that about half of American adults are trying to lose weight. So chances are probably pretty good that you're trying to lose weight right now, or at least you've tried to lose weight in the past. So weight loss can come from body fat, which is the goal, of course, but it can also come from muscle and water and even bone mass. So we've got to remember that we shouldn't become overly fixated on the bathroom scale. It doesn't always give us the full story. Monitoring scale weight only, it measures only the total amount of weight lost. So it doesn't give you the information about the kind of weight that's been lost. So a lot of people, when they start to lose weight, are retaining a whole lot of water. And that's why they can lose 3 or 4 pounds really quickly. And maybe they even continue to lose weight for several weeks. Sure, there's a lot of fat loss, but there's a lot of water weight that's being lost as well. And that's all fine. Some of that water weight is often due to inflammation caused by the foods that they had been eating. And now those inflammatory foods are removed and they're seeing a big difference. But weight loss often plateaus down to like nothing. And then it starts to mess with your mind. Why is the scale not budging? All right, let's consider first and foremost, how much fat can you reasonably expect to lose in a week? So if you're a healthy young person, healthy with body fat to lose, that is, then at most you could hope for 2 pounds of body fat per week. Most people I work with are about my age and older, so 40 and over. And realistically in our age group, we could be really happy to shoot for about 1/2 pound of fat loss per week. That's a really pretty good, solid and reasonable goal. 1/2 pound. So let's just think about that for a second. If you have a lot of sodium one day, your scale weight can be up like 1 pound or 2 just because of water retention alone. Or you're PMSing. The darn scale will definitely go up. So I just want to say right here, if you're like many of my clients, seeing the scale go up when you've been trying to get it to go down can really mess with your head. And it's just not worth the emotional toll that it will take on you to get on the scale every day when it can bring you down. It could put you in a bad mood. Honestly, it could just get your day started totally wrong. If you're, however, a rare breed like my husband, and you see the increases and the decreases on the scale just as interesting pieces of information, like, oh, look at that, it went up by 2 pounds, interesting. And then the next morning, oh look, it's back down, interesting. So if you're one of those rare people who's not emotionally affected by what the scale says, then by all means, keep a daily record. It might help you feel like it's keeping you on track. And you'll be very aware of those high sodium meals or your PMS. For the rest of us though, let's just stop and consider for a moment why our scale weight matters so much to us. Why does it mess with our emotions or make us feel good about ourselves when the scale weight is down, or bad about ourselves when the scale weight is up? If our real goal is to look toned and fit, our scales won't tell us if our clothes fit better, or if we look better, or if we feel stronger or more defined. So sure, tracking your weight can be an important piece of information and a tool to help you monitor progress, but it's far too easy to become obsessed with the number. If you're improving your metabolism, you're eating right, you're getting enough protein, you're exercising, you're weight training, then you're most likely going to begin to lose body fat while gaining muscle and bone density. A definite win. I would suggest for most people, the people who don't fall into the rare breed category like my husband, to use the scale periodically. And remember that it's just one form of measurement. It doesn't tell the whole story. Let it be a check-in resource to like keep you on track. After the holidays passed a couple months ago, I could tell I had put on a little weight. I'm only 5'2", so honestly, I feel aware of the handful of pounds that I put on occasionally. So even though I knew I had put on a few, I finally decided to step on the scale mid-January. And I was surprised because I had gained more than I realized. And no, I did not think, oh, how interesting, like my husband. Okay, though I'm not usually a big fan of the scale, I have to admit that checking in that mid-January, it was valuable because it got me to kick my butt into gear. And then when I got on the scale again in a couple of weeks, and no, I did not weigh myself every day during that time because I knew that it would mess with my head or it wouldn't be the most beneficial thing for me. But a couple of weeks later, when I saw some improvement, that small improvement was wonderfully motivating. It just reinforced in my mind that I was putting in the hard work and I was making the needed adjustments to my eating patterns and my workouts. So my point here is that the scale is a tool and it shows part of the story and not much else. You have to know yourself to know how to utilize that tool and how much. If it's going to give you motivation and accountability without making you feel better or worse about yourself, then use it to your heart's content. But if you know you're going to be prone to responding emotionally to what it says, use it very sparingly. We've got to remember, our goal isn't simply to achieve a lower number on the scale. And you might roll your eyes here and say, yes, it is. But really what we want is to add lean muscle mass and decrease body fat. We want to help get that defined look that we're kind of seeking. To be totally honest, other than during or after my pregnancies, I'm actually at my heaviest weight right now, but my clothing size has not changed. So what I'm trying to say is my body composition has changed a lot over the years as I focused more on strength training. I'm leaner and stronger, but according to the scale, I'm also heavier. So you may have heard the saying that muscle weighs more than fat. I mean, a pound of muscle and a pound of fat technically weigh the same, a pound. But two things that weigh the same amount can be different in size. A pound of feathers sure takes up a lot more space than a 1 pound dumbbell, okay? And this is true for body fat and muscle as well. So 1 pound of muscle is much harder and denser than a pound of fat. Although they weigh the same, their shape and their size are totally different. So I want you to consider how this might apply to you. If you gain 5 pounds of muscle, but you drop 5 pounds of body fat, your scale weight will be exactly the same. However, the way your clothes fit and what you see in the mirror will be totally different. So I suggest when you're beginning a nutrition or exercise program to do an initial weigh-in and then maybe again in a week. And then hide your scale for a month, like at least. Like track your photos, track your performance, track your energy and how your clothes fit. Track how you feel and how you feel you look. Monitoring your progress this way will give you a better sense of your real progress than the scale will. So if your main goal is fat loss, rather than relying on the scale alone, maybe give these 2 strategies to monitor your progress a try. So first, measure your waist to hip ratio. Measuring this ratio, it's simple and it's an effective way to track inches lost, and it can also say a lot about your metabolic health. All you need to do is measure your waist at the narrowest portion using a tape measure, like a fabric tape measure, and then measure your hips at the widest portion and divide your waist measurement by your hip measurement. The goal is to see the ratio go down. I'll include a PDF that talks more about the measurements, and it gives a chart showing what's considered to be the healthy and the unhealthy ratios. Okay, next, just grab your favorite pair of snug jeans and give the tight pants test a try. Remember, your goal isn't just the number on the scale. It's how you look and how you feel and how you fit in your clothes. So relying on a single article of clothing can actually give you a lot more information than the bathroom scale. So simply find a pair of pants that are snug, but they fit still. So the questions are, can you zip them up? Are they comfortable? Can you sit down in them? Maybe even take a picture of yourself in them for future comparison. Rather than fixating your attention on your scale alone for confirmation that you're making progress, focus on the way that you look and on the way that you feel. One last note as we talk about scale weight and body composition is weight training versus cardio. Which is better for weight loss? To change your body composition, which means not just losing body fat, but gaining and maintaining lean muscle as well, resistance training is fundamental. It's a fundamental part of the equation. As you work to achieve your fittest body, you might be tempted to focus simply on cardio. After all, cardio burns lots of calories, right? And that's the goal, creating the calorie deficit needed for weight loss. Okay, not necessarily. Weight training might not always burn as many calories as cardio, but weight training is far more effective than cardio at building muscle, and therefore it is ideal and necessary for improving body composition. Weight training can help raise your resting metabolic rate, which means the number of calories that you burn when you're just at rest, and this includes when you're asleep. So weight training can burn calories for many hours after a session, far more than cardio workouts can. And honestly, when done with the intention of calorie burning, weight training can absolutely burn as many calories as cardio. It can be just as efficient when it comes to scorching calories, when it's done in a HIIT training format, or when it's done combining big muscle groups like upper and lower body. It gets your heart rate up and it burns calories while building your lean muscle mass. So if you simply focus on cutting calories or burning calories with cardio as a means for weight loss, but you don't do any resistance training, you may lose weight, but you may not achieve the defined, toned look that you're really hoping for. So to change your body, both calorie burn and resistance training are important. I'm not saying to avoid cardio or that cardio is bad, but I am saying that to change your body and not just change your scale weight, but to get firm, toned, and defined, you do need to weight train. If you're a newbie to weight training or just in a rut not knowing what to do with your weight training, then check out my free program, 16 to Fit, and get started. I put the link down below for you. So maybe it's time to hide the scale for a while. Focus on proper nutrition and resistance training, and monitor your progress based on how you look and you feel more than the number on the scale. Comment below and tell me how you feel about the scale. Are you a weigh yourself daily kind of a person? Or do you hardly ever use the scale? So thanks for watching. Thanks for chiming in on this little debate as well. Be sure to like and subscribe to get all sorts of Healthy Girl Guide tips and tricks posted weekly. Till next time.